What's going on? It's Chris and Emily from LifterLMS, and you know what day it is. It's Feature Friday. Today we're going to drop into a core feature of LifterLMS, which is how to work with, add, manage instructors. Instructors are associated with courses. In the course post type or page, there's like an instructor block. You can actually have multiple instructors on a course. You can have some instructors that are visible, some that aren't, and we're going to take you to school on how to work with that. Ever since LifterLMS 9.0, based on feedback, we've moved where the instructors are, so they're easier to work with, easier to find. So check that out, because people often ask, like, how do I manage the instructors or change the instructors? Emily's going to take us on a tour, and you're going to learn how to work with your instructors for your courses with LifterLMS.
Thank you so much, Chris. Let me get my screen pulled up here. And so like Chris said, for both courses and memberships, we have instructors. And in LifterLMS, we always have. The membership instructor defaults to the person who creates the course or membership, but sometimes you might want to change that. Sometimes you might be a technical advisor on the website creating courses, but you want to change the instructor to be somebody else. If you're used to LifterLMS, the classic way, you might find the rocket logo up in the right corner, but where we're going to be looking for instructors nowadays is down here in the membership or course settings. You can see I'm on a membership now. We see the content area at the top where we define all of our access plans and our text and all of our pictures and everything. And then down here we have membership settings. In case you can't find it, sometimes you can collapse it with this little caret key and miss it. But just open that up. We're looking for that membership settings. Within here, we have instructors. We can see I'm Arthur Wells here on this website, and so this is the person who defaulted to creating it. We can change the label, the visibility, and we can also add instructors. But we'll see the same exact interface if we're editing a course. So if I edit my LifterLMS Quick Start course, rather than referencing this little rocket icon as we would in the past, we're going to scroll all the way down to that same area, course options this time, instructors, and we'll have the same settings. So our label could be course instructor, and then we can set them to be visible or hidden. The reason you might want to set an instructor to be hidden is that instructors of courses get certain capabilities and controls over the course. So you might want someone to have the capabilities to be able to modify the course, edit the lessons, edit the course content, but you don't want them to be visible on the front end. That's where we might add an instructor, select one of our users, and then make them hidden. So that maybe Darian here is kind of a secret author, someone who can help us with our content but isn't publicly visible. And so that's the visibility feature. And when we say visible or hidden, what we're primarily talking about is that there's an instructor block. Instructors block. So we can see Arthur Wells is here. We have author and we have a bio. I'll show you how to customize that too. But the instructor block, Arthur Wells, we have course instructor. Let me go ahead and save this. And then we'll see that change take effect on our little instructor box. So I might have to reload. No, I don't. So Arthur Wells, course instructor, and then we don't see my second instructor, Darian, there. Let me make sure that that person is visible so you can see what it looks like when you have multiple instructors visible at the same time. So we might see something along the lines of Darian, who's the course author, and then Arthur Wells, who's the course instructor. You can change those labels, change those texts, but LifterLMS has this automatic formatting that's already so beautiful. You might ask the question, it comes up a lot, where do I edit this little bio here? And that's going to be each individual's profile. So if you go to users and edit the individual user, each user has a little biographical info. So that's users, and edit the user, a little bio, and a little space to select a photo. Usually that's set on gravatar.com. So you have this, your globally recognized avatar by default, LifterLMS Social Learning is an add-on that lets you set your own profile pictures per person, and there's other tools in WordPress that let you set profile pictures per person. So that's how you're going to get your profile picture via LifterLMS Social Learning or another product or a Gravatar by default. You can change the text, you can change the name, and you can add a bio. And on courses and memberships, you can make them hidden, you can make them visible, but that's how you work with instructors in LifterLMS. And a little sneak preview to what they do. We have other documentation with more details about exactly the capabilities instructors have, but this is how they show up in a visible way on your courses. What do you think, Chris?
That was awesome. And just a pro tip, sometimes people don't want to use our instructor block and kind of custom design their own. You can do that too with the block editor and even use the sync pattern so you can reuse it in other places and stuff. But the LifterLMS instructor block is pretty great out of the box and works for most people. I have a curveball for you. Why don't we go ahead and add a third instructor and then show us how we can reorder the order they show up, as well as delete an instructor as well. So kind of a 3-step thing. Let's add one, move them around, and then delete one.
Yeah, we can do that. So if I go to instructors here at the bottom, we'll add an instructor. And just so you're aware as a WordPress user, when you're adding an instructor to a course, you're going to want to make sure that they at least have the instructor role in your WordPress admin or instructor assistant. I believe we have 5 instructors here. So we see we have a couple people in here that are already listed as instructors. So then when we're searching our user list, we're going to see our WordPress admins, and then we're going to see our instructors like this. And so before we saw Darian, which I think this person's display name is set to Darian or something. Yeah, I don't know why their display name is set to Darian. This is just test data. But basically, we have our 5 instructors listed here and our website admins. So make sure when you're creating these people that they're one of those. But let's add Aaron now. Make them visible, save the change, and see if they show up here on our list at the top. After that save completes, it'll do a little reload. Now Aaron's here. If we actually want to move Aaron to the first spot before Arthur Wells, let's scroll all the way back down, collapse this little section. These 3 bars, the 3 stacked bars, usually indicates that something can be clicked or moved. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to drag it all the way to the top. It's going to do a little refresh. And you can see that we have these 2 X's. I'll explain those in a second. But now that we save, we should see Aaron jump over to that first position. And so that's how you can reorder them on your instructor block. And note that this will look a little bit different depending on what theme you're using. We're using LifterLMS Sky Pilot, specifically tailored to LifterLMS websites for LifterLMS users created by the LifterLMS team, but it might look a little bit different depending on what theme you're using, that instructor block. And then when it's time to remove someone, like for example, I'm Arthur Wells on this website, what if I'm the developer and I'm not actually a course author? I'm just going to remove myself. You have to be second on the list in order to remove yourself. So you see that the X is only appearing on numbers 2, and when I had 3 people, the 2 and 3 had X's on them, but the first person didn't. So if you wanted to remove Aaron, for example, you would have to move Darian to the top, then the X appears for Aaron, and then you could remove that person. So I'm the developer, Arthur Wells. I'm not an instructor of this course, so I'm going to save it, delete it, and these are the 2 people who are actually appearing in the curriculum development. So that's
perfect.
The curveball.
Yeah, that's the full tour of instructors. Like Emily mentioned, LifterLMS has different user roles, so familiar yourself with that. If you just do a search for LifterLMS user roles, there's LMS managers, instructors, instructors assistants, and students. But this is how to specifically work with the instructors for your courses and memberships. Thank you for the great demo. Smash the like button out there, drop a comment down below, tell your friends, and let us know what video you'd like for us to make for you next. And we hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.